For years, United States crypto policy was shaped by lawsuits, not laws. Now Congress's Digital Asset Market Clarity Act tries to draw the first clear line, deciding who polices tokens, the SEC or the CFTC. But does this law really solve the chaos, or just move the battleground? The answer may change how crypto is built, traded, and regulated for everyone. Congress drew its dividing line with a simple question: is a token controlled by people or by code? The Digital Asset Market Clarity Act sets out a checklist to answer this. The law says a digital asset is a security if any single actor or group can control upgrades, pause the protocol, or holds more than 20% of the voting power or token supply. If no one holds that much power, if the code runs independently, and if upgrades require broad community votes, the asset is treated as a commodity instead. This 20% threshold appears throughout the Act. Any founding team, developer, or affiliated group with more than 20% of the tokens, or the ability to unilaterally change how the protocol works, keeps the asset under SEC oversight. If those controls are burned and token ownership is widely dispersed, the CFTC takes over. Uniswap offers a clear example. Its UNE token is held by thousands, with no single entity able to push through changes or seize control. Proposals require distributed voting, and the core contracts cannot be paused by a central admin. Under the Clarity Act, this kind of structure meets the test for a digital commodity. By contrast, a token where the founding team still holds the keys or the lion's share of tokens would remain a security. The law's line is drawn not by intentions, but by measurable, auditable facts about who holds the power. Once a token's classification is set, exchanges and brokers face a new regulatory crossroads. If a platform lists digital commodities, assets that pass the decentralization test, it must register with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, spelled CFTC, as a digital commodity exchange. That requires submitting operational details, joining a futures association, and overhauling surveillance and reporting systems. For digital securities, the path runs through the Securities and Exchange Commission, spelled SEC, and requires broker-dealer registration or registration as an alternative trading system, along with enhanced disclosures and strict investor protection rules. During the first 18 months after the law takes effect, platforms can operate under provisional status while regulators finalize the details. This window buys time, but it does not erase the pressure to adapt. Exchanges like Coinbase, which list both types of assets, must review every token, decide which regulator to answer to for each token, and potentially delist tokens that no longer fit their compliance profile. Custody requirements tighten as well. Proof of reserves audits, institutional grade insurance, and stricter know your customer checks become standard. For smaller exchanges and custody firms, these upgrades mean higher costs and tough decisions. Some may exit the market instead of shouldering the burden. The new rules aim to protect investors and standardize operations, but they also redraw the map for which platforms can compete and which tokens are available to everyday users. Banking groups have pushed hard for a stablecoin rewards ban, warning that yield-bearing stablecoins can act like uninsured bank accounts and threaten the traditional deposit base. They say that, without protection from the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, these rewards expose consumers to risks that regulated banks cannot match. Supporters argue that closing the loophole on third-party rewards is essential for stability and fair competition. Crypto industry leaders and decentralized finance advocates see things differently. They say yield programs are a core part of how stablecoins and decentralized finance protocols work, providing utility and incentives for users. For them, the rewards ban is an overreach that could stifle innovation and drive activity offshore, where consumer protections are often weaker. State regulators, especially in places like New York, have raised alarms about federal preemption. They warn that removing state authority could weaken local enforcement and leave gaps in consumer protection, especially if federal agencies like the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or CFTC, lack resources or retail oversight experience. State officials say local authority matters for everyday consumer safeguards. On the question of CFTC authority, Traditional finance and some lawmakers support expanding the agency's role, citing its track record with derivatives and market structure. Critics worry about mission creep, noting that the agency was not originally designed to police retail investor risks on this scale. Each side frames the debate around what is at stake for both innovation and safety, and there is little agreement on where the balance should lie. Project teams now face a new checklist before launch. Decentralization audits are no longer optional, they are expected. Builders must show with public on-chain data that no single entity controls upgrades or holds more than 20% of the tokens. Admin keys are time-locked or burned, and governance moves to multi-signature wallets or DAOs. For developers, this means higher upfront legal and technical costs. Many hire outside firms to certify compliance and document token dispersal. Failure to pass these audits can mean a token is classified as a security, triggering SEC oversight and costly registration. Exchanges and custody providers encounter a different kind of pressure. Dual registration, one set of rules for digital commodities under the CFTC and another for securities under the SEC, means parallel compliance teams and overlapping audits. For large platforms, this is a heavy but manageable burden. For smaller exchanges, the math often does not work. Some have already announced plans to wind down US operations or restrict listings to avoid the cost. Investors see the fallout in changing token access and the disappearance of stablecoin yield products. Where rewards once drew in new users, most platforms have paused or removed them, wary of running afoul of Section 404. The legislative pause in the Senate leaves builders, exchanges, and investors watching for updates. The cost of guessing wrong is higher than ever. Where this lands in practice will shape product design, exchange listings, and the economics of decentralization. Some teams will build with tighter governance controls and higher compliance budgets. Some exchanges will narrow offerings, and some investors will lose access to certain yield products. At the same time, clearer rules could reduce legal risk for projects that meet the new tests. Clarity is still unresolved. In 2026, the bill is active in debate, and stakeholders are watching how courts and regulators interpret specific terms like control, software, and rewards. Until those questions are settled, builders and platforms will keep balancing technical design, legal risk, and business viability. If you found this clear and useful, subscribe to the Tech Gauged YouTube channel for clear, unbiased crypto explainers. Even as lawmakers debate, crypto's legal gray zone remains. For every builder and investor, one certainty is the only constant. Clarity or confusion will shape what comes next. Subscribe to the Tech Gauged YouTube channel for clear, unbiased crypto explainers.